So today is the last session of the seminar, and last 4 days, we discussed about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions to different devotees, different associates, and that is what comprises Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. In his book, The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada very systematically presented them. First, teachings to Srila Rupa Goswami. Then, teachings to Srila Sanatana Goswami. Then, bestowing mercy upon Prakashananda Saraswati, the Mayavadi sannyasi, the leader of the Mayavadi sannyasis of Varanasi, which was the seat of Mayavadi. Mayavadis are generally the followers of Lord Shiva. Followers of Shankaracharya actually means followers of Lord Shiva, because Shankaracharya is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. Generally, that's why they assemble in the place of Lord Shiva. For that matter, Avanti or Ujjain also is the place of Lord Shiva, Mahakal. But at the same time, Avanti also is Krishna's Leela Sthali. Avanti is the place of Krishna Balaram's education. For schooling, Krishna Balaram came here in the ashram of Sandipani Muni. And anyway, actually our understanding is Vaishnavanam Jathasam. Lord Shiva is a great Vaishnava. And although some different type of people also follow Lord Shiva for various personal benefits, but Lord Shiva is a devotee. Lord Shiva is known as Ashutosh. Very quickly pleased. Lord Shiva is very quickly pleased. And this also we can see, it's a Vaishnava quality. Kripa Sindhu Bhaye Vacha. There's an ocean of mercy of Vaishnava. And Vancha Kalpataru Bhascha. He's like a desire tree. He can fulfill everybody's desire. Therefore, sometimes some materially motivated people take advantage of Lord Shiva's nature, that he is so quickly pleased. It takes a lot of effort to please Vishnu. You can't please Vishnu unless and until you surrender unto him. In one hand, it is very simple to surrender, but those who have strong false ego, for them it's difficult to surrender. Like often we see that Lord Shiva's followers are not really devotees of Lord Shiva. They are not surrendered to Lord Shiva. They simply come to do business with Lord Shiva. In that respect, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the anecdote has been given of that demon who wanted to get the benediction from Lord Shiva that upon whose head he would place his hand, he will immediately die. His head would crack in 1,000 pieces. So when Lord Shiva granted that boon to that Brikasura, so he immediately wanted to taste it on Lord Shiva. Let me see whether it works. So that is their attitude. No gratitude. The person gave them, he got something from him, but we can see how selfish they are. They came, got this boon from him, and then immediately wanted to try it on him. That means wanted to kill him. So that is one type of people who take advantage of Lord Shiva. And about Lord Shiva's name being Ashutosh, quickly pleased, has been also given another reason why he is so quickly pleased. Because when these materially motivated people come to him, he considers them to be a disturbance. And he wants to get rid of them. Get out of here. Oh, you want this? Okay, take it and go away. That is Lord Shiva's attitude. Don't bother me with all your mundane agendas. You want this? Okay, get it. Get lost. And we find that when they get this boon from Lord Shiva, eventually that boon becomes the cause of their destruction. Like Brikasura, a classic example. He wanted to kill Lord Shiva. Then Krishna came in the disguise of a little boy. And he bewildered him completely. What? Lord Shiva gave you this boon? How can it be? How can it happen? Don't you know that Shiva lost his ability to grant boon to anybody after Daksha cursed him? It's not true. Don't be so stupid to believe in that. Just place your hand on your own head and see. And so this is how the Lord made him place his own hand on his own head, and his head cracked into 1,000 pieces. And he was dead. So anyway, Prakashananda Saraswati was the leader of the Mayavadi sannyasis. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very mercifully delivered him. One thing we notice, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not get into argument with these people in order to defeat them. He just casually defeated them. For example, when Keshav Kashmiri came to Navadvip to defeat the scholars there and become the greatest scholar of India, Pandit of India. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu encountered with him, as if accidentally, Mahaprabhu just casually defeated him. Like, okay, glorify the Ganges. Beautifully, he glorified Ganges. It's been described that he was reciting those poems in glorification of Ganges as if with the same speed with which the Ganges was flowing, with the same serene movement and speed he was reciting those verses, composing those verses and reciting them. And then when he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how he felt, you wanted to hear about the glories of Mother Ganges, how do you feel about this? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's simple answer was, Very nice, very nice. Excepting a few mistakes here and there. Mistakes in my composition? In my composition, there's never any mistake. What are the mistakes? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just recited one verse out of so many verses that he recited. And he was surprised. How could you remember? I had been reciting these verses one after another without pause. How could you remember? Mahaprabhu's response was, just as by the mercy of the Lord sometimes somebody becomes a Kobi Bar, a great poet, similarly by the blessings of the Lord, one can become a Shrutidhar, who can remember whatever he hears. And then in this one verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pointed out 6 mistakes. And this is how he defeated. Didn't get into any direct encounter with him. Just casually defeated him. Similarly with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, great scholar. Not only the great scholar, the greatest scholar of India at that time. And he wanted to teach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His brother-in-law, Gopinath Acharya, was very upset. What are you talking about? Do you know who he is? He's a supreme personality of Godhead. And you want to teach him. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya came up with an argument. No. In this age, there is no incarnation. He'll come at the end of the Kali Yuga, as Kalki Avatar. Therefore, he is known as Tri Yuga. Gopinath Acharya pointed out, he's called Tri Yuga because he comes in 3 yugas revealing his identity, and in Kali Yuga he comes hiding his identity as a devotee. Therefore, he is called Tri Yuga. So this is how they had this argument. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got to know that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wanted to teach him Vedanta in order to fix him in his sannyas ashram, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's response was, okay, yeah, sure, I will study under his guidance. After all, he is my well-wisher. He is wishing me well that I can become fixed up in my sannyas ashram. And in this way, he allowed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to teach him. But while Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was teaching him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just pointed out the mistake in his explanation. He pointed out that your explanation is not clarifying the sutras, clarifying the meanings of the aphorisms, sutras. They're covering the meanings. That means you are giving wrong interpretation of the Vedanta Sutra. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So in this way we can see how wonderfully Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, without hurting anybody's feelings, he is actually making them Krishna conscious. He didn't hurt their pride. They were very proud individuals. Keshav Kashmiri was a very proud person. He used to consider that he is the greatest scholar of India. And he had the special gift from Devi Saraswati, that she would recite in his tongue. Saraswati would speak through his mouth. So who could ever defeat him? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated him, but not directly, indirectly. Similarly, Mahaprabhu defeated Prakashananda Saraswati. That episode I discussed this morning. How beautifully Mahaprabhu defeated him. He simply, indirectly pointed out the defects of impersonalism and pointed out that the Vedanta ultimately leads to devotion. Vedanta is not dry philosophical speculation. Vedanta is ultimate meaning of purpose of Vedanta is to surrender to the Lord. Vedasya anta, Vedasya sarvai ahameva vedya, as Krishna pointed out. After that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada discussed how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And then finally, it's coming to Ramananda Rai. This is the most exalted part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Here also, Mahaprabhu is not teaching in that way. He directly taught Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. But here, he is not teaching, but he is questioning. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is questioning Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy was the governor of what is known as Andhra Pradesh today. And he was the governor. That province was under King Prataprudra, and Prataprudra appointed him as the governor of that place. Very exalted personality, like a king of that place. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told him that you are going to South India, meet Ramananda Rai there. He's a great devotee. And so Mahaprabhu came to South India during his travel. He went to Jia Nishinga Kshetra, Singhachalam. And then after that, he came to the bank of Godavari in a place called Kopur. And after taking his bath, he was sitting on the bank of the river under a tree, chanting the holy name. Then all of a sudden he heard the sound of many people coming. There was lots of chant. Brahmanas are chanting mantras, and singers are playing music, playing instruments, and singing. And they saw that personality came surrounded by his entourage, many brahmanas, and riding in a palanquin. He came, then got out of the palanquin while the brahmanas were chanting the mantras and throwing all auspicious ingredients like unbroken rice and things. And he entered into the river, took his bath. Just seeing him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt, this must be Ramananda Rai. Of course, he is the Supreme Lord, he is the Super Soul, but this is the pastimes. He is playing. He knows everything, he knows everybody. But it has been described in Chaitanya Charitamrita in that way, that he felt that this must be Ramananda Rai, the governor of this place. And then Ramananda Rai also, after he came out taking his bath, then he saw this handsome sannyasi with such effulgence coming out of his body. So very respectfully, he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, offered obeisances. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, "You must be Ramananda Roy." And he replied, "Yes, I am the servant of your servant." Mahaprabhu said, "I heard about you from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He spoke so highly of you. He told me what an exalted devotee of Krishna you are. I am so happy to meet you." Ramananda Rai said, "Actually, it's due to his affection for me that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya speaks like that. But I am not not a devotee at all, maybe trying to become a devotee. And then Mahaprabhu embraced him. And all these Brahmanas, they are all smart Brahmanas. So they were surprised that this sannyasi, why he is touching a non-Brahmana. According to their calculation, he was a Shudra because he was in government service. He took service, therefore he was a Shudra. And why this governor, who is like a king, he is having such intimate association with this sannyasi, embracing each other. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt that this is not the right place to get into a discussion with Ramananda Roy. So he felt that all these people are around here and they don't understand what's going on. So it's a kind of a disturbance that all these people are here. So they arranged that, okay, I'll come in the evening. Ramananda Roy decided to come in the evening. So in the evening, Ramananda Roy came with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this time, he just brought only one Brahmana with him. Just one Brahmana. And he practically came alone. And they met. So Ramananda Roy was very, very happy to meet such an exalted devotee. He also must have heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by that time. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, can you tell me please, what is the ultimate goal of life? So this is how it all started. Sadhya, sadhan, tattva. Sadhya means what is to be achieved. And sadhana is the means to achieve that goal. And that goal is called siddhi. What is to be achieved, how it should be achieved. What is the goal of life? So that is why this discussion is so important, and how it is taking us. Actually, never ever we find such systematic presentation of the Vedic conclusion. That is the uniqueness of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Like in Brihad Bhagavatamrita of Sanatana Goswami, he actually presented that also. Actually, what Sanatana Goswami gave is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. But he gave it in a very systematic way for everyone's understanding. And there also he just points out different levels of devotion. And this way, step by step by step, he is coming to the ultimate point. With Rupa Goswami's teachings also, we find the same thing, coming to the ultimate point. The 5 different mellows, 5 different loving relationships with Krishna. Neutrality, servitorship. Step by step it is going. Superior to neutrality is servitorship. Superior to servitorship is friendship. Superior to friendship is parental. And the supreme stage of relationship is conjugal. And in that conjugal relationship, the relationship that Krishna had with the gopis. Ramma kachi dupashana brajabodhu vargena jakulpita. The way the Brajabodhus, the cowherd themselves, worship Krishna as the highest form of worship. And among the Brajabodhus, among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the topmost devotee. And very systematically, Sanatana Goswami presented that in Brihad Bhagavatamrita in these 2 volumes, in 2 khandas, 2 volumes. First volume is Narad Muni's search of the highest devotee, greatest devotee, the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. And this way, step by step, he is coming to beyond Vaikuntha, Ajodha, beyond Ajodha, Dwarka, beyond Dwarka, Vrindavan, and in Vrindavan, Krishna's relationship with Srimati Radharani. So this is how it has been very systematically pointed out. That's why Mahaprabhu's teachings is the ultimate culmination of the Vedic understanding. Nowhere, nobody has ever given it in such a wonderful way. And here also with Mahaprabhu's discussions with Ramananda Rai, that point has become clear. Ramananda Rai asked, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, tell me, what's the goal of life? And Ramananda Rai quoted a verse from Vishnu Purana. Varnashrama charavata purushena parapuman Vishnur aradhate pantha nainam tattosha karanam. Quoting the scriptures, he is saying, Varnashram, following the Varnashram is the way, tattosha karanam, the way to please Vishnu, Krishna. Varnashrama charavata purushena parapuman Vishnur aradhate pantha. Varnashram system, the following the 4 varnas and 4 ashrams of life is the goal of life. Because that is the way to worship Vishnu, and there is no other way to please him. Nainam tattosha karanam. But Mahaprabhu rejected that. No, that's external. External means that's a material consideration. And Prabhupada is explaining that why Mahaprabhu rejected that. Because Varnashram system is based on the 3 modes of material nature and 4 phases of life. So these are material considerations. As long as one is within the modes of material nature, he is practicing Varnashram. Therefore Mahaprabhu rejected it. No, this is material consideration. Iho bajjo. Aage kahoga. Tell me what is beyond that. Then Ramananda Rai quoted from Bhagavad Gita, pointing out the karma yoga is the goal of life. Jat karosi, jadasnasi, jat juhasi, dadasi jat tapushoshi konteya, tat purusha madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you give in charity, and whatever austerities you perform, offer the results of those activities to me. Mahaprabhu rejected that also. No, this is also external. Now, why external? Because the karma, the actions are performed due to one's own desire. And he is just offering the results to Krishna. Therefore, it is not pure action. So it cannot be the goal of life. Then Ramananda Roy spoke about karma tag, renunciation of karma. Sarva dharman, he quotes from Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Mahaprabhu rejected that also. Sarva dharman parityajya. That is also not the goal of life, because that also is a material consideration. Giving up all the mundane activities, now you're surrendering to the Lord. Then Ramananda Rai spoke about Jnana Yoga. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakting labhate param. When one becomes Brahma Bhuta, he is in a Brahma Bhuta stage. He transcended the material nature. He has come to the spiritual plane. His heart has become completely satisfied. Prasannatma. Then at that stage, na sochati, there is no lamentation, no kankshati, no craving. At that stage, being situated in the Brahma Bhuta platform, sama sarveshu bhuteshu, he is completely equipoised with everyone. Because he is not seeing their external covering. He is seeing the living entities as the spiritual beings. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. At that stage, mad bhakting labhate param. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected that. Then Ramananda Rai spoke about pure devotion, that is Jnana Karma Anavritam. This Brahma Bhuta stage is Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Jnana Mishra, it's not pure devotion. This devotion is tinged with knowledge, Jnana, which is a materialistic endeavor. Then Ramananda Rai quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, a statement by Lord Brahma. Jnani prayasa mudapasya namanto eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartam sthane sthitva shrutigatam tanuvan manovi prayasha ajito jito pita istrilakka. When one becomes free from the influence of jnana, even knowledge has given up now, and now he is surrendering. Namanta eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartam. And listening to your descriptions, bhavadiya vartam, hearing about your glorious activities and qualities from Sat Mukharitam, from the pure devotees. At that time, in whatever situation he is in, he lives his life according to the instructions of the Vedas, Shrutigatam. And Tanubang Manobhi, his body, mind and words are surrendered unto serving Krishna. And at that stage, Krishna, who is Ajita, he becomes conquered by him. So that is the state of pure devotion. This pure devotion, the definition of pure devotion is, it is free from jnana and karma. Previously, the answers that Ramananda Roy were giving is based on karma and then jnana. Anna bhilashita sunnam jnana karmad anavritam. Anab is not covered by jnana and karma anymore, that devotion. Pure devotion is not affected by jnana and karma. Jnana karmad anavritam. And anukullena krishnanu shilanam. Whatever is favorable in rendering devotional service unto Krishna, when one accepts that, that is the goal of life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that. Yes, that is right. And then he gave different. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, that's right. Tell me what is beyond that. Aage ka hua. Tell me what is beyond that. Now he accepted this point. And then he spoke gradually first of Shantaras, then Dasya, then Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhu. And he is, at that point, gradually he came to the point of Prema Bhakti Sarva Sarthasa. And from this point onwards, I will just read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, because this is taking us to the highest platform step by step. So I just don't want to speak on my own, but read from the scriptures and try to explain. A man becomes purified simply by hearing the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose lotus feet create the holy places of pilgrimage. Therefore, what remains to be attained by those who have become his servants? So, glory of the servants of the Lord. He quoted the verse, Jannama Shruti Matrena Puman Bhavati Nirmalaha Tasya Tirthapada Kimba Dashanam Avashishyati. Dashanam Avashishyati. Those who have attained the servitorship to the lotus feet of the Lord, what is there for them to achieve? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is another very beautiful shlok. This is from Stotra Ratna. Bhavantamevamnu charanta nirantaraha prashanta nishesham manorathantara kada aham oikantika nitta kinkara praharshayishyami sanata jivitam. By serving you constantly, one is freed from all material desires and is completely pacified. When shall I engage as your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful to have such a perfect master? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted that. Ihohoy. Yeah, that's right. Hearing this from Ramananda Roy, the Lord again requested him to go a step further. In reply, Ramananda Roy said, loving service to Krishna rendered in fraternity is the highest perfection. So from Dasharat, now he is going to Sakhya. Ithang satang brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya shritanam naradarakena sartham vijraho kritapunna punjat. Is describing the cowherd boys. Sukadeva Swami from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, he is describing the cowherd boys' good fortune. Neither those engaged in the self-realization or appreciating the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, nor those engaged in devotional service while accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Master, nor those under the clutches of Maya, thinking the Lord an ordinary person, can understand that certain exalted personalities, after accumulating volumes of pious activities, are now playing with him as cowherd boys. So, how fortunate they must be. The personality who is beyond the understanding of the yogis, beyond the understanding of the most exalted personalities. After millions of lifetimes of Brahman realization, those who can't even approach the toenail of that personality. And now these boys are playing with him like cowherd boys, as his friends. What pious activities they have performed, what good fortune they have achieved. That is the position of the cowherd boys. They're playing with the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his friend. Prabhu kahe eho uttam, aage kaho. Very nice, very well spoken. But tell me what is beyond that. So then, he spoke about Vatsalya Ras. Ramananda Rai continued, O Brahmana, what pious activities did Nanda Maharaj perform by which he received the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as his son? And what pious activity did Mother Jashoda perform that made the absolute Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna call her mother and suck her breasts? So, what good fortune! The Supreme Personality of Godhead has accepted the position of the children. Nanda Maharaj, he is treating Nanda Maharaj as his father, and Nanda Maharaj is treating him as his son. No consideration that this personality is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How is it possible? And this personality is calling Mother Jashoda mother and sucking her breasts. The favor Mother Jashoda obtained from Sri Krishna, the bestower of liberation, was never obtained even by Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, nor even by the goddess of fortune, who always remains on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. So this is how, going step by step, Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, and now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, upon hearing that, he says, Iho uttam age kahoar, Rai kahe kanta prem sarvashattva. The Lord said, your statements are certainly getting better and better, one after another. But surpassing all of them is another transcendental mellow, and you can speak of that as the most sublime. Ramananda Rai then replied, conjugal attachment for Krishna is the topmost position in love of Godhead. Then he quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Nayam Shriyango Nitantarate Prasadaha Sarjoshitam Nalina Gandha Rucham Bhuta Anna Rashat Sabhyasya Bhuja Danda Grihita Kantha Labdha Shisham Ja Udgad Brajasundarina. When Lord Sri Krishna was dancing with the gopis in the Rasa Leela, the gopis were embraced around the neck by the Lord's arms. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune or the other consorts in the spiritual world, nor was such a thing ever imagined by the most beautiful girls in the heavenly planets, girls whose bodily luster and aroma resemble the beauty and fragrance of lotus flowers, And what to speak of worldly women, who may be very, very beautiful according to material estimation. So this is the good fortune of the gopis. The good fortune that hasn't been ever bestowed to anyone, not even to Lakshmi Devi. That good fortune had been offered to these Braja gopis. The Lord, with his arm around their shoulder, Lord is dancing with them. Another verse, Tasham avirobhuchauri smayamanu mukhambujaha pitambaradhara shrabhi shakshat manmatha manmatha. Suddenly, due to their feelings of separation, Lord Krishna appeared among the gopis dressed in a yellow garment and wearing a flower garland. His lotus face was smiling and he was directly attracting the mind of Cupid. So then Ramananda Rai continued, there are various means and processes by which one may attain the favor of Lord Krishna. All those transcendental processes will be studied from the viewpoint of comparative importance. So, like these are the comparative studies. Shanta, beyond Shanta is Dasya, there's Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhu. Krishna, there are very Krishna Prapti Upai Bohu Vidho Hai. There are various ways one can receive the mercy of Krishna. Krishna Prapti Tarotamma Bohuto. And in this way, there are various ways of relating to Krishna. Kintu jar jai rosh shei sarvottam. Tatastha huiya bicharile ache tarotam. Jar jai rosh hoy shei sarvottam. Whatever one's mellow is, to him that is the highest. But when from the marginal point we see, we analyze, then we see that there are different levels of attachment. It is true that whatever relationship a particular devotee has with the Lord is the best for him. One who is in Dasya, he thinks that's the best for him. He is not thinking, oh, why am I in Dasya? At least I could have been in Sakharas. No, in the spiritual sky there is no room for such thoughts. Like Jar Jai Rosh Vaishesha. Whatever one's mellow is perfectly situated there. Similarly, the Shakhas of Krishna, they think that this is the highest. This is the highest. Because that is where they are deriving the greatest joy. Similarly, the parental and finally the gopis in conjugal. Okay. পরিপূর্ণ কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তি এই প্রেমা হইতে এই প্রেমের বশ কৃষ্ণ কহে ভগবতী. The gopis, the way the gopis loved Krishna, that is the highest. Complete attainment of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna is made possible by love of Godhead, specifically Madhurya Ras or conjugal love. Lord Krishna is indeed captivated by the standard of love. This is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Krishna told the gopis, the means of attaining my favor is loving service unto me. And fortunately, you are all thus engaged. Those loving beings, those living beings who render service unto me are eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world and attain eternal life with knowledge and bliss. কৃষ্ণের প্রতিজ্ঞা দৃঢ় সর্বকালে আছে, যে জয়ীছে ভজে কৃষ্ণ তারে ভজিত ইচ্ছে। The way one serves Krishna, Krishna reciprocates. And that has been confirmed by that verse. Je jatha mam prapaddante tang tathaiva bhajam. Mama vatmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasata. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. এই প্রেমের অনুরূপ না পারে ভজিতে, অতএব ঋণী হয় কহে ভাগবত। So Krishna is saying, as one serves me, accordingly I reciprocate. But when it comes to Braja Prem, Gopis, the love for Krishna, Krishna cannot reciprocate. Krishna is saying, এই প্রেমের অনুরূপ না পারে ভজিতে, অতএব ঋণী হয় কহে ভাগবতী। Rini means indebted. Krishna becomes indebted to the gopis because he cannot pay them back. Otherwise he reciprocates, but this love he cannot reciprocate. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that Lord Krishna cannot proportionately reciprocate devotional service in the Madhurjaras. Therefore, he always remains a debtor to such devotees. Na padayaham nirabadda sangjujam sasadhu kritam vibudhayusha pipaha ja ma bhajan durjaya griha shrinkhala sangbhrishya tattva pratijatu sadhuna. When the gopis were overwhelmed with dissatisfaction due to Lord Krishna's absence from the Rasa dance, Krishna returned to them and told them, my dear gopis, our meeting is certainly free of all material contamination. I must admit that in many lives it would be impossible for me to repay my debt to you because you have cut off the bondage of family life just to search for me. Consequently, I am unable to repay you. Therefore, please be satisfied with your honest activities in this regard. Krishna is telling the gopis, na parayaham. I cannot pay you back. What you have done, what you have given is so great that I do not have any means to properly reciprocate and pay you. So in this way, when Ramananda Rai described, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. And he said, Prabhu kahe, ei shraddha bodhi sunishchoy, kripa kori kaho jodi age kichu hoy. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, this is certainly the limit of perfection. But please be merciful to me and speak more, if there is more. If there is anything beyond that, then please tell me. Hearing that, Ramananda Rai said, Rai kahe, ihar age puche heno jan, etodin nahi jani achoy bhuvane. I didn't know that there was anyone in this world who could ever ask what is beyond that, beyond Madhurya. Ramananda Rai replied, until this day, I did not know anyone within this material world who could inquire beyond this perfectional stage of devotional service. Ihar moddhe Radha Prem Shadhu Shiromani Jahar Mohima Shargo Shastrite Lakhani. Among the loving affairs of the gopis, Ramananda Rai continued, Srimati Radharani's love for Sri Krishna is topmost. Indeed, the glories of Srimati Radharani are highly esteemed in all revealed scriptures. Then quotes two verses from, one is from Laghu Bhagavatamritam and the other is from Srimad Bhagavatam. The one from Laghu Bhagavatamritam is Jatha Radha Priya Vishnus Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopishu Sevaika Vishnu Rattanto Vallabha. Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Shri Krishna, her bathing place Radha Kunda is also dear to him. Among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the supreme and very dear to Lord Krishna. Then he quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Anaya Radhita Nunam, Anaya Radhito Nunam Bhagavan Harishara, Janno Vihaya Govindaha, Prita Jam Anayadraha. When the gopis began to talk among themselves, they said, Dear friends, the gopi who has been taken away by Krishna to a secluded place must have worshipped the Lord more than anyone else. So upon hearing that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu kahe, aage kaho, sunite pai sukhe, apurvam mrita nadi bahe tomar mukhe. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please speak on. I am very happy to hear you because a river of unprecedented nectar is flowing from your mouth. Ramananda Rai continued, চুরি করি রাধাকে নিল গোপীগণের ডরে অন্নাপেক্ষা হইলে প্রেমের গাঢ় গাঢ়তা না স্ফুরে. During the Rasa dance, Sri Krishna did not exchange loving affairs with Srimati Radharani due to the presence of the other gopis. Because of the dependence of the others, the intensity of love becomes intensity of love between Radha and Krishna was not manifested. Therefore, he stole her away. And from Rasa Mandali, Krishna stole Radharani away. Radha lagi gopire jodi sakkhat kore tag, tobe jani Radhaye Krishner garo anurag. If Lord Krishna rejected the company of other gopis for Srimati Radharani, we can understand that Lord Sri Krishna has intense affection for her. Krishna's love for Srimati Radharani is the highest. He was dancing with millions of gopis in Rasa dance. And he left all of them just to be with Srimati Radharani. So that is the proof that Radharani's situation is the highest. শতকোটি গোপী সঙ্গে রাস ও বিলাস তার মধ্যে এক মূর্তে রহে রাধা পাশ. This is a very beautiful point that Ramananda Rai made to establish Srimati Radharani's unique position. Krishna was dancing with hundreds of millions of gopis. Shotokoti. Hundreds of millions of gopis he was dancing with. But in the center, he was dancing alone with one person, one gopi. So that gopi must be special. Who is that gopi? Srimati Radharani. ক্রোধ করি, রাস ছাড়ি, গেলা মান করি, তারে না দেখিয়া ব্যাকুল হইল শ্রীহরি. When Radharani left the Rasa dance out of anger and resentment, Lord Sri Krishna became very anxious because he could not see her. And then the rasa dance does not shine in the heart of Krishna without Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he also gave up the circle of the rasa dance and went out to search for her. When Krishna went out to search for Srimati Radharani, he wandered here and there. Not finding her, he became afflicted by the arrow of Cupid and began to lament. Krishna began to lament. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Je lagi ailam tomar sthane, সেই সব তত্ত্ববস্তু হইল মোর জ্ঞানে." After hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Ramananda Rai, "That for which I have come to your residence has now become an object of truth in my knowledge. My coming here has been successful, that I met you and I got to know all this." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued to say, I'll just read the English word. "Now I have come to understand the sublime goal of life and the process of achieving it. Nevertheless, I know that there is something more ahead, and my mind is desiring to hear it. Krishner Swarup kaho, Radhar Swarup, Rosh kon tattva, Prem kon tattva roop. Kindly explain the transcendental features of Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Also explain the truth of transcendental mellows and the transcendental form of love of Godhead. Kripa kori ei tattva kaho to amare, toma bina keho iha nirupite nare." Kindly explain all these truths to me, but for yourself, no one can ascertain them. Then Ramananda Roy replied, "Rai kahe, iha ami kichui na jani. Tumi jei kahao, sei kohi ami bani." Sri Ramananda Roy replied, "I do not know anything about this. I simply vibrate the sound. You make me speak. তোমার শিক্ষায় পড়ি যেন সুখ পাঠ, সাক্ষাৎ ঈশ্বর তুমি, কে বুঝে তোমার নাট." I simply repeat like a parrot whatever instructions you have given me. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Who can understand your dramatic performances? হৃদয়ে প্রেরণ করো, জিহ্বায় কহো বাণী, কি কহিয়ে ভালো মন্দ, কিছুই না জানি। You inspire me within the heart and make me speak with the tongue. I do not know whether I am speaking well or badly. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in such a humble way, he is responding. Prabhu kahe, mayabadi ami to sannyasi, bhakti tattva nahi jani, mayabadi bhashi. Lord Chaitanya said, "I am a mayavadi in the renounced order of life, and I do not even know what transcendental loving service to the Lord is. I simply float in the ocean of Mayavad philosophy. সার্বভৌম মোর মন নির্মল হইল, সার্বভৌম সঙ্গে মোর মন নির্মল হইল, কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি তত্ত্ব কহ, তাহারে পুছিল." Due to the association of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, my mind became enlightened. Therefore, I asked him about the truths of transcendental loving service to Krishna. দেহ কহে আমি নাহি জানি কৃষ্ণ কথা, সবে রামানন্দ জানে, দেহ নাহি এথা. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that you please tell me about the transcendental loving service of Krishna. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, "I do not know anything about the devotional service. Ramananda knows. But unfortunately, he is not here." So I'll just read the English translation. Hearing that, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, "After hearing about your glories, I have come to your place. But you are offering me words of praise out of respect for a sannyasi, one in the renounced order of life. And then Mahaprabhu quoted that famous verse, Kiva Vipro Kiva Nashi Shudro Ke Ninoy Jai Krishna Tattva Vitta Shri. Whether one is a Brahmana, a sannyasi, or a Sudra, regardless of what he is, he can become a spiritual master if he knows the signs of Krishna. So I'll just. So he is talking about Krishna. Brindamane aprakrito novin modon kam gayatri kam vijay jar upashan. In the spiritual realm of Vrindavan, Krishna is the spiritual, ever-fresh Cupid. He is worshipped by the chanting of the Kam Gayatri mantra with the spiritual seed cling. Purush Joshit Kiva Sthabar Jangam Sarvachitta Karshak Shakhat Manmathu Madon. The very name Krishna means that he attracts even Cupid. He is therefore attractive to everyone, male and female, moving and inert living entities. Indeed, Krishna is known as the all-attractive one. So Krishna is so attractive that he himself becomes attractive to him. আপন মাধুর্যে হরে আপনার মন আপনা আপনি চাহে করিতে আলিঙ্গন. Lord Krishna's sweetness is so attractive that it steals away his own mind. Krishna is so attractive that he himself becomes attractive to himself. Thus, even he wants to embrace himself. Sri Ramananda Raya then said, I have thus briefly explained the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now let me describe the position of Srimati Radharani. I'll just read the English. Krishna has unlimited potencies which can be divided into three main parts. These are spiritual potency, the material potency, and the marginal potency, which is known as the living entities. And Krishna's three potencies are spiritual world, internal potency, material nature, external potency, and living entities, the marginal potency. These are the three principal potencies of Krishna. Antaranga Bohiranga Tatastha Kohi Jare Antaranga Sharup Shakti Sabar Upare. These are all potencies of Krishna's, internal, external, and marginal. But the internal potency is the Lord's personal energy and stands over the other two. Ladini is his aspect of bliss, Sandhini of eternal existence, and Sambit of cognizance, which is also accepted as knowledge. Because the potency called Ladini gives transcendental pleasure, through this pleasure potency, Krishna personally tastes all spiritual pleasure. So Krishna's enjoyment is completely dependent upon his pleasure potency or Ladini Shakti. So in simple words we can say, Srimati Radharani provides all the pleasures of Krishna. The essential part of love of Godhead is called Mahabhav, transcendental ecstasy. And that ecstasy is represented by Srimati Radharani. সেই মহাভাব হয় চিন্তামণি সার কৃষ্ণ বাঞ্ছা পূর্ণ করে এই কার্য তার। That supreme ecstasy of Srimati Radharani is the essence of spiritual life. Her only business is to fulfill all the desires of Krishna. Mahabhav Chintamani Radharo Sharu Lolitadi Shokhitar Kai Bukuru. Srimati Radharani is the topmost spiritual gem, and the other gopis, Lalita, Vishakha, and so on, are expansions of a spiritual body. So, anyway, then it's going into all the descriptions of Srimati Radharani's beauty and different aspects of Srimati Radharani. So I'll just skip that. Now Ramananda Rai is talking about Krishna as the Dhira Rai Kahi Krishna hoy Dhira Loli Nirantar Kam Krida Jahar Chori. Rai Ramananda replied, Lord Krishna is Dhira Lalita, for he can always keep his girlfriends in the subjugated state. Thus, his only business is enjoying sense gratification. So Krishna is the supreme sense gratifier. Krishna is the only sense gratifier. And we are meant to provide sense gratification to Krishna. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Shevanam Bhakti Uchyate. Bhakti is give pleasure to the Lord of the senses by our senses. রাত্রি দিন কুঞ্জে ক্রীড়া করে রাধা সঙ্গে কৈশোর বয়স সফল কৈল ক্রীড়া রঙ্গে. Day and night, Lord Sri Krishna enjoys the company of Srimati Radharani in the bushes of Vrindavan. Thus, his pre-youthful age is fulfilled through his affairs with Srimati Radharani. Then Ramananda Roy actually sang a song which was very beautiful. I'll just read that. Pohilehi raga nayana bhange phelo Onudina baralo abadhina gelo Naso ramano naham ramani Duhu manu manu bhavo peshala jani E sakhi se sabo prema kahini Kanuthame kahavi bichurila jani Na khojalo duti na khojalo an Duhu keri nilane mutthe to panchavan Ab sohi birago duhu bheli duti Supurukha prema ki aichana riti. This translation, alas, before we met, there was an initial attachment between us brought about by an exchange of glances. So Radha Krishna's relationship is being described here. When he first met, there was just an exchange of glances. And this is Krishna's transcendental love affairs with Srimati Radharani. Before we met, there was an initial attachment between us brought about by an exchange of glances. In this way, attachment evolved. That attachment has gradually grown and there is no limit to it. Now that attachment has become a natural sequence between ourselves. It is not that it is due to Krishna, the enjoyer, nor it is due to me, for I am the enjoyed. It is not like that. This attachment was made possible by mutual meeting. This mutual exchange of attraction is known as Manobhav or Cupid. Krishna's mind and my mind have merged together. Now, during this time of separation, it is very difficult to explain these loving affairs. My dear friend, though Krishna might have forgotten all those things, you can understand and bring this message to him. But during our first meeting, there was no messenger between us, nor did I request anyone to see him. Indeed, Cupid's 5 arrows were our via media. Now, during this separation, that attraction has increased to another ecstatic state. My dear friend, please act as a messenger on my behalf. Because if one is in love with a beautiful person, that is the consequence. Hearing that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu kahe সাধ্য বস্তুর অবধি হেই হয় তোমার প্রসাদে ইহা জানিল নিশ্চয়. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed these verses recited by Sri Ramananda Rai saying, this is the limit of the goal of human life. Only by your mercy I have come to understand it conclusively. Okay, this is a very important part it's coming to. So, okay, let me go back to that point. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said here, that what I read just now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed these verses recited by Sri Ramananda Roy, saying, this is the limit of the goal of human life. Only by your mercy have I come to understand it conclusively. সাধ্য বস্তু সাধন বিনা না কেহ নাহি পায় কৃপা করি কহ রায় পাবার উপায়. How can one receive that loving relationship with Krishna? So Ramananda Rai said, যেই কহাও সেই কহিবানি কি কহিয়ে ভালো মন্দ কিছুই না জানি. Ramananda Rai replied, I do not know what I am saying, but you have made me speak what I have spoken. But be it good or not, I am simply repeating that message. মোর মুখে বক্তা তুমি তুমি হও শ্রোতা অত্যন্ত রহস্য শোনো সাধনেরও কথা. Actually, you are speaking through my mouth, and at the same time you are listening. This is very mysterious. Anyway, kindly hear the explanation of the process by which the goal can be achieved. Radha Krishner লীলা এই অতি গুরুতর দাস্য বাৎসল্য ভক্তি ভাবে না হয় গোচর. The pastimes of Radha and Krishna are very confidential. They cannot be understood through the mellows of servitorship, fraternity, and parental love. সবে এক সখীগণের ইহা অধিকার সখী হইতে হয় এই লীলার বিস্তার. Actually, only the gopis have the right to appreciate these transcendental pastimes, and only from them can these pastimes be expanded. সখী বিনা এই লীলা পুষ্ট নাহি হয় সখী লীলা বিস্তারিয়া সখী আস্বাদয়. Without the gopis, these pastimes between Radha and Krishna cannot be nourished. Only by their cooperation are such pastimes broadcast. It is their business to taste the mellows. And it continues, without the help of the gopis, one cannot enter into these pastimes. Only one who worships the Lord in the ecstasy of the gopis, following in their footsteps, can engage in the service of Sri Sri Radha Krishna in the bushes of Vrindavan. Only then can one understand the conjugal love between Radha and Krishna. There is no other procedure for understanding. The happiness of the gopis increases 10 millions of times when they serve to engage Sri Radha and Krishna in their transcendental pastimes. By nature, Srimati Radharani is just like a creeper of love of Godhead, and the gopis are the twigs, flowers, and leaves of that creeper. Although the gopis, Srimati Radharani's friends, do not desire to enjoy themselves directly with Krishna, Srimati Radharani makes a great endeavor to induce Krishna to enjoy himself with the gopis. Presenting various pleas for the gopis, Srimati Radharani sometimes sends the gopis to Krishna just to enable them to associate with him directly. At such time, she enjoys a happiness 10 million times greater than the enjoyed through direct association. It is to be noted that the natural characteristic of the gopis is to love the Supreme Lord. There is lusty desire. Their lusty desire is not to be compared to material lust. Nonetheless, because their desire sometimes appears to resemble material lust, their transcendental love for Krishna is sometimes described as lust. Among the gopis, there is not a pinch of desire for sense gratification. Their only desire is to give pleasure to Krishna, and this is why they mingle with him and enjoy with him. One who is attracted by the ecstatic love of the gopis does not care about popular opinion or the regulative principles of Vedic life. Rather, he completely surrenders unto Krishna and renders service unto him. রাগ মার্গে তারে ভজে যেই জন রাগানুগা মার্গে তারে ভজে যেই জন সেই জন পায় ব্রজে ব্রজেন্দ্র নন্দন. If one worships the Lord on the path of spontaneous love and goes to Vrindavan, he receives the shelter of Brajendra Nandan, the son of Nanda Maharaj. So, the way to enter into Radha Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan is through this Raganuga. That actually takes us to another domain. I'll briefly discuss about that. There are two types of devotion. Vaidhi Bhakti, meaning following the rules and regulations of the scriptures, and Raganuga Bhakti, that is Raganuga Bhakti means the devotion following the loving relationship of the gopis. Following the loving relations of the gopis for Krishna. Rag Anuga. So these are the two paths. Now, it has been pointed out that devotional service must be rendered with Vaidhi Bhakti. Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatra, Vidhin Vina, Oikantiki Harer Bhakti, Utpato Iva Kalpate. Even earnest devotion to Krishna, if it is not executed following the rules and regulations of the scriptures, it simply creates disturbance. Utpato iva kalpate. So simply it is saying that devotional service must be rendered following the rules and regulations of the scriptures. Then the question is that how will anybody enter into Vrindavan? So here we have to remember that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually came to pave our way to Vrindavan, to take us to Vrindavan. So by rendering rendering devotional service to Krishna, following Vaidhi Bhakti, one goes to Vaikuntha. Now, the point is everybody should serve Krishna following Vaidhi Bhakti. Then he will just go to Vaikuntha. Then how will one go to Vrindavan, which is beyond Vaikuntha? When one goes to Vaikuntha, he'll have his Sarup, Nitya Sarup, that he cannot be changed. So how will anyone go to Vrindavan? So in order to enable us to go to Vrindavan, Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Krishna is rendered devotional service following Vaidhi Bhakti, then one goes to Vaikuntha. But when this devotee Krishna is served following Vaidhi Bhakti, then one becomes able to go to Vrindavan. You got the point? If you serve Krishna following Vaidhi Bhakti, okay, first point, devotion, let's take it very clearly. Devotional service must be rendered following Vaidhi Bhakti. Now, rendering devotional service to Krishna following Vaidhi Bhakti, where will one go? Vaikuntha. But when one renders devotional service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then where one goes? Golok Vrindavan. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is served following Vaidhi Bhakti, one goes to Vrindavan. Okay, now the point is, the way to enter into Vrindavan, Braja Prem, to receive Braja Prem is through Raganuga Bhakti. But you are saying that following Vaidhi Bhakti will go to Vrindavan. The point is, we are rendering Bhakti to Sri Chaitanya. Now, what is the definition of Raganuga Bhakti? Rag means pure love. The gopis of Vrindavan has pure love for Krishna. Therefore, they are known as Ragatmika Bhaktas. Ragatmika Bhaktas. And when one renders service following those Ragatmika Bhaktas, then that is called Raganuga Bhakti. Now, when we are rendering devotional service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are we following? Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. When we are rendering devotion, when we are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are we following? Srimati Radharani. Therefore, following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are automatically becoming situated in Raganuga Bhakti. We are rendering service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Vaidhi Bhakti, and that Vaidhi Bhakti is automatically becoming transformed into Raganuga Bhakti. I emphatically make this point because there had been some confusion some time back that Prabhupada didn't give us Raganuga Bhakti. Prabhupada just gave us Vaidhi Bhakti. And we have seen how following that so-called Raganuga Bhakti, they simply created a disturbance in the society. Our point is, Prabhupada gave us everything. We do not have to separately try to render Raganuga Bhakti in a solitary place. Our business is to preach, and that is the way we serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when we serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through this Jaggai Sankirtana Prayai, then automatically we get entrance to Vrindavan. How? Because Because when we serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then by his mercy we see him as Radha Krishna. And when we are seeing Radha Krishna, where are we? We are in Vrindavan. This is how we do not have to go anywhere else. We do not have to try anything else. We won't have to do anything else. We simply have to follow the process that Srila Prabhupada gave. And one day, by his mercy, we'll find ourselves in Golok Vrindavan. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I'll take a few questions, 3 and 3. This question is from Vishwarup Das. Thank you for your enlivening nectar as Chaitanya Leela questions how much emphasis we should give in our preaching to Varnashram system, which is mainly known as farm community and cow protection in our society, after considering Ramananda Roy's conversation. How to relate Sankirtan activities like book distribution, Harinam, etc. with Varnashram establishment. Your insignificant servant, Vishwarup Das. Where is Vishwarup? Okay. Yes, very good question, Vishwarup. You see, Prabhupada actually told us that what he did is 50%. And the other 50% is to establish Varnashram. And then Prabhupada said that not that everyone will become a devotee. Those who won't become devotees, for them we need Varnashram. So that means Varnashram is needed to structure the society. Those will not become devotees. And the good part of the society will be non-devotees. And for them we need to structure. And in ISKCON we are trying to create some prototype or small model, which as you say, village community and cow protection. And that is a kind of, trying to create some model. But actual Varnashram has to be established in a much larger scale, at least nationwide. Why? Because, the most difficult aspect of Varnashram will be the Kshatriyas. You see, the leaders, that means the rulers of the society, will be kings. They will not be politicians who are elected by vote in democracy. Like, as long as democracy is there is no way we can establish Varnashram. In order to establish Varnashram, democracy has to go. Right? And monarchy has to come. The king, Kshatriya means king. Kshatriyas do not want to be elected by vote. The Kshatriyas will establish their right with power. But the democracy won't allow that, or is not allowing that. But there should be like freedom for the warriors. Might is right. Who is the most powerful? He will be the king. If anyone is more powerful than him, he will come and oust him and take over the kingdom. Bhira Bhugga Boshundhara. This Mother Earth is meant to be enjoyed by the Veeras, the heroes. But the point is, these Kshatriyas will not be autocratic. They will be submissive to the Brahmanas. And it will happen, it will happen. By Krishna's arrangement, it will happen. Let's see how it happens. Farm community is not Varnashram. In the farm community, where is the role of the Kshatriyas? No role for Kshatriyas. At the most, they're Vaishyas. Tushtatma Krishnadas. Where is Tushtatma? Okay. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, my question is, to achieve devotional service of Krishna, where should we? Question. To Shiva as Ashutosh or our present ISKCON Guru Maharaj? I don't understand, what do you mean? To achieve devotional service of Krishna, where should we? To Shiva as Ashutosh or to our spiritual or to present ISKCON Guru Maharaj? Or to both of them? Please elaborate about these two tattva theory. Well, our line is surrender unto Krishna and Krishna's devotees. We accept Lord Shiva, but he is not in our line of disciplic succession. Our line is coming from Lord Brahma. If that is what actually meant, I couldn't properly get your question. Then he is saying, when I hear about Ashutosh quality of Shiva, it seemed to me I should approach to Shiva for devotional service. Otherwise, it's very difficult to approach Guru Maharaj. I'm sorry that I have become so difficult. But Prabhupada made the process very easy. The process that Prabhupada gave is far superior to Lord Shiva's presentation. So be thankful to Srila Prabhupada and stick to him. Srila Prabhupada is most Ashutosh. Ankit Malavia, a question, as we heard, that conjugal love for the Godhead is the ultimate goal of life. So, dear Maharaj, kindly put some light on this process again. Can one achieve the Madhurya Ras directly, or one has to start from Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakkharas, Vatsalya Ras, then he can go to the level of Madhurya Ras? Actually, our business is to serve Krishna in Dasyaras. That is our position. Jiver Sharup hoy, Krishna Nitya Das. We are meant to serve Krishna in Dasyaras. Don't have to worry about Sakkharas or Vatsalya Ras and even Madhurya Ras. That if Krishna someday wants to give it to you, then you can get it, not otherwise. So next question is Parameshwari Radhika. Okay. Jai Shri Gurudev, Koti Koti Dandavad. Okay. गुरुदेव, क्या आप एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं रासलीला में राधा रानी क्या चले जाना, राधा रानी का चले जाना, क्योंकि मैं श्रीमद् भागवत में तो कृष्ण रासलीला से चले जाने है ये बताया गया है। नहीं, पहले कृष्ण चला गया था, उसके बाद कृष्ण वापस आया, रासलीला शुरू हुआ। जब रासलीला चल रहा था तब अचानक कृष्ण राधा रानी चल गई। तो जब राधा रानी निकल गया तो कृष्ण भी रास मंडली छोड़कर राधा रानी को ढूंढने के लिए चले गए। ठीक है, ये भागवत में है, ठीक से पढ़ना। ओके। So I asked for 3 questions and so many has come. Okay, Kishori Devi Dasi. आपने पिछले 2 साल पहले बताया सहन शक्ति कैसे बने, इससे मुझे बहुत फायदा हुआ, धन्यवाद गुरु महाराज। प्रश्न, जब कोई घर में बड़े व्यक्ति गलती होने पर बोले तो तो सुन लेती हूँ। भक्ति के बीच में ऐसा लगता है जब कोई सीनियर बोलता है वो तो सुन लेती हूँ। गुरु महाराज पर जब बच्चे कुछ इस तरह बोलते हैं तो वहाँ पर अहंकार आ जाती है, तब क्रोध आता है। उस समय मुझे क्या करना चाहिए? मैं तो 2 साल पहले बताया सहनशील होने के लिए, तो उस
जैसे हम 2 हाथ आगे लेके ताली करते हैं और एक हाथ पीछे लेने में ताली करने के सवाल नहीं। उसी तरह सामने लेके अगर हम पर अभी अगर कोई बोलता है तो हमको पीछे आ जाएंगे।
तो ठीक है, उसको समझाओ, उसके समझाओ कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए। हाथ नहीं चलाना, ठीक है। ओके, Championary Devidasi. Okay. Please accept my humble obeisances and tell how giving up mundane activities and surrendering unto Lord is material. Giving up mundane, not giving up mundane activities, like active being, like I'm talking, I think you are talking about when Ramananda Rai mentioned about karma tag. It's what is actually happening is one acting according to his own desire and offering the results to Krishna. That is karma yoga, right? So see, one is acting with a material motivation and offering the results to Krishna. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered that to be mundane. All right? Rekho. Okay. Your question is, everybody will die someday or the other, for death is certain. So why is that one is treated to get cure of disease or accident so that one may not die? On being asked, people say that it is due to love and affection for the person. But is this understanding correct, that for the remaining days a person lives after being treated, he may become self-realized and go back to Godhead, and that is why one's death is prevented? You see, like treatment is there, disease is there, treatment is there. But in spite of the treatment, when one cannot be cured and dying, that is what has to be accepted properly. You get the point? Not that we have to die and something happened, no treatment, nothing, let me die. That will be inappropriate.
I want to say that suppose the patient or his relatives comes to know that few days are there, but they do not endeavor for that few days. So in that case, why the relatives would have endeavor? So
Yeah, so that's what I was telling the other day also. Don't make this extraneous endeavor to keep him alive. Hmm. Like there is no need to, like, try to keep him alive as long as possible with normal way. But nowadays they're making all kinds of artificial way, right? Like for example, heart transplant, this transplant, that transplant, like, and that is what is not desired.
My point is that suppose if I want to say, I want to explain to somebody that why we protect somebody from dying. So is this understanding correct that we want somebody to not die so that actually the purpose of human form of life is to become self-realized. So we are preventing disease, we are curing disease or something to make the person self-realized. We cannot make them self-realized, but in the days that are left, he may become.
Okay, how old is the person you're talking about?
Not some specific person.
No, tell me, I'm asking specifically, what kind of person you're talking about? Is he a young man or is he an old man?
Young man.
Okay, young man, then try to keep him alive, and along with that, try to give him Krishna consciousness, right? Otherwise, just keeping him alive, so many people are alive, but what they're doing, they're just leading an animalistic life. So it is better they die soon. What does it mean to be internal energy or external energy of Lord? For energy is energy. If we take the example of fire and light and heat being its energies, then how can we understand its internal energy or external energy? No, these are some material energies that you are talking about. Light, heat, electricity, etc. But Krishna's energy is of three kinds. The internal energy of Krishna is manifest in the form of spiritual world. The external energy is manifest in the form of material world. Right? This material world, what you are seeing, is all Krishna's energy. Right? And the marginal potency, we all are Krishna's marginal potency. So we are Krishna's energy, but this is not the kind of energy that we know of light or heat and etc. as we are talking. Krishna's energy is not like that kind of energy. Krishna's energy is manifest, like as we say, we all are Krishna's energy and we all are living entities. Not one or two, billions and trillions and zillions. That is Krishna's energy. So that's how we have to take Krishna's position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his energy being something inconceivable. Can you conceive? Krishna glances and the material nature becomes manifest. Is that glance light? Is that glance heat? Is that glance electricity? Is that glance magnetism? Huh? So we know our energy is in physics, light, heat, electricity, magnetism, and sound. These are the five energies that we know. But Krishna's energy is not like that. Krishna's energy is, can you imagine Krishna's external energy is this material nature? How wonderful it is. And Krishna's energy, again, is a person. Can you imagine that? Krishna's energy is a person. That is Maya, Yogamaya, Mahamaya. Krishna has inconceivable potency. Krishna's Maya Shakti also has inconceivable potency. So then, Shamsundar Krishna, Guru Maharaj, if one can get Raganuga Bhakti by following Mahaprabhu and rendering service to him, then one, why ISKCON temples have Radha Krishna deities? What's wrong with Radha Krishna deities? Huh? The deity worship is a part of bhakti, Navadha bhakti. Huh? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. This Pada Sevanam is deity worship. Archanam, worshipping the deity. Bandhanam, offering prayers to the deity. So that's why deity, the form of Krishna, is very beneficial. Okay? But the point, of course, another point comes up that if one follows Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings and footsteps, then he can go back to Godhead. If one is just Jaggai Sankirtan, if one is performing Sankirtan Jaggai, if one is engaged in preaching Krishna consciousness, spreading the glory of Krishna, distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, yes, he can go back to God. Because his preaching endeavor will be recognized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he is serving him. Got the point? And then second question is there no point in going to Vrindavan and focus on Mayapur, Mayapur or Puri only? No. Vrindavan is Krishna's Leela Sthali. Go to Vrindavan and then try to bring everybody to Vrindavan. Right? Don't just go to Vrindavan for your own spiritual advancement or spiritual practice. Preach in Delhi, preach in Gurgaon, and take a busload to Vrindavan and make them devotees of Krishna. There is another question. Yeah. Okay, this was the first one, I didn't notice. Please accept my humble obeisance. Okay, thank you so much for such nectarian class and asset for the posterity. When we say enjoy, it would mean one can enjoy anything based on his desires. However, with respect to Krishna, every relationship and Leela is written and fixed like Srimati Radharani, Nanda Maharaj, Jasoda Mai, Sudama, Sridama, etc. Everything seems to be predictable. I hear even Rasa Leela is explained in Govinda Leelamrita. How is it possible to enjoy if Krishna has to do something again and again? Wouldn't real enjoyment be in the unpredictability rather than preset? Does it mean Krishna has no choice to change them and is limited and supreme enjoyer, but within a framework, your very fallen servant, Shyam Sundar Krishna Das. Okay. These are just giving some, idea. These pastimes that are mentioned. And it's not that all the time it's happening the same way. Example, if you look at your day, it's practically the same every day, right? Shyam Sundar gets up at 3 o'clock, okay, whatever it is, for the sake of convenience. Gets up at 3 o'clock, takes his bath, washes his mouth, chants his rounds, reads Prabhupada's books, and goes to work, then comes back home, takes a shower, goes to temple to lead a kirtan and listen to Bhagavad Gita class. More or less that's the routine of Shyam Sundar Krishna, right? But is every day the same? Why not? So similarly, Krishna's pastimes. It's a kind of, an idea is given to us how it's happening. But every day or every time is not the same. Its variety is happening all the time. And that also, another way to look at it, say, you, in the TV, you see America, New York, Times Square, Fifth Avenue, Central Park, right? You're seeing that. You get an idea. But then when you go to New York and see those places, is it the same when you saw it in the TV or in the movie and being there yourself? So that is how Krishna's pastime. When we go there, we will see how it happens. And the main thing is, everything is happening according to Krishna's will. Alright, thank you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari.